Hello, everyone. I'm Roswell Royce Lord. I'm the creator and director of a cool dance Facebook. It's called Cool Folks Who Love to Bachata. I decided 3 years ago to get 2,800 of the world's greatest dancers on one Facebook. In honor of the recovery from the pandemic, the dancers are all around the world doing their stuff, doing their events, doing their promo. I want to help them out. Okay. I want to help them out by having them come live with me so they have the opportunity to better promote themselves. They can tell you guys a little bit more about them, their events, and other personable traits they wish to share. It's one thing to share a posting on a social media site, and it's a different thing when you actually talk about it. So I'm gonna, do something a little bit more different compared to other Facebooks, but inviting each and every dancer this summer, if they would like to go live with me, to share their story. Okay. Um, Couple quick announcements. I'm gonna bring on uh, a very, very, very cool person. She's a cool mom. She's a cool dancer. She's a cool advocate. She's a cool veteran. She's from Massachusetts. I'm going to bring on Angelique Baker. I haven't had the pleasure yet to meet Angelique in person, but hopefully, God willing, I will one day. But in the meantime, I am super, super honored that she decided to go live with me, especially on a Monday. Oh, by the way, speaking of Monday, I'm in a grumpy mood, but I'm pretending that I'm not. Okay? It's raining. As everyone knows me, when it rains and it's cold, ugh, okay, I'm back in New York. Oh, I'm happy to be back in New York. Okay, I just want to say, okay, but the weather is bad hair day. My Jerry curls are going this way instead of this way. Not good, right? Anyway, because Angelique is here, I promised her I will do my best to put a smile, half of a smile on my face just for her. Let's see how far I can get. Okay, for the next hour, we're going to talk with Angelique. More interviews are coming up this week. As everyone knows, I'm going to Miami next weekend. We're going to hang out with my friends Central Movement in Miami for their Miami Paradise event. So I'm trying to get as many interviews this week and some next week because when I go to Miami, it's a different world out there for me. Okay. So this week I'm packed. Jose Serrano is going to join us on Wednesday. The beautiful and wonderful Tamara Salsa tomorrow. She's joining us. Okay. Thursday, my good friend, he's been a member of Cool Folks for 3 years now. Mike Galindo from California. He's going to join us. Just confirmed. Bernie is going to join us next Monday. Okay. And Tuesday, the fabulous and beautiful Martha from Detroit is going to join us. Okay. And then after I come back from Miami, we're going to pick up the interviews in July. So I'm going to continue reaching out to members from all over the world to see if you would like to talk with me and talk about your event. Okay. So, okay. So without me talking overtime like I normally do, okay, let me bring on the magnificent Angelique. Okay. So, Angelique, hello.
Hi.
Hola, hola. I told everyone just for you, I'm putting on, some type of smile just for you, okay? Just for you. I don't know how long it can go. Maybe after like an hour, I'm gonna go. But for now, I'm
We're
trying
gonna have a
something.
good time, so it'll be a natural smile.
We're gonna be have a good time. First of all, I want to say I love the hearts on the back of the wall.
Oh,
I
thank you.
love it. Did you do that? Did you create that yourself, or
I put it up for Valentine's Day 6 years ago, and I just love it, so I left it. It's my little reminder.
as far as I'm concerned, every day is Valentine's Day. Every day is the
Smooth.
Valentine's Day, and
I
I
love it.
and every day is Christmas. Let me show. Oh, you guys don't believe me. Before I left a year ago to go to Atlanta, I had my Christmas tree up. I never took it down. Look, look. I show Angelique. Look, check that out.
Let me see. Okay, are you gonna decorate it for like Fourth
I
of
did.
July?
That's not a bad idea. I was just thinking about that because my mom keep telling me why have I not taken it down yet, and I keep telling my mom and my neighbors. every day is Christmas. So every day is Valentine's and every day is Christmas, right? Happy, happy, happy. Okay. Um, I am happy that you are on. Okay, I just told everyone that I haven't yet had the pleasure to meet you in person or to pop up at your event and say, "Hi, I'm Roswell. Give me a hug." But you seem like a nice person. You have a great reputation in the business. A lot of people say good stuff about you. Some of my friends, and so I wanted to give you a chance to speak and tell everyone a little bit more about you. Um, Let's begin with this famous quote from your social media webpage, which I love. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so you have it was written. Okay, the only disability in life is a bad attitude. Don't get your memories bigger than your dreams. Did I get that right?
Yeah, it's right.
Okay.
Yeah. I've posted
Okay.
that before, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
When you posted that, I mean, you know, something must have was going through in your head. Like for me, like, I do research and I do legal work, and all that stuff. And there's always a cause behind something. People just don't get up and just write stuff. And just, I always believe, there's something that's leading up to that. So what was going on in your head, if you don't mind me asking, when you decided to do that? Is there someone you're trying to target or something you just decide to do, or what is a motivation question,
Yeah.
I guess? So what tell us about it,
Yeah.
please.
So actually, I have a ton of disabilities. They're hidden or invisible, so you can't tell by looking at me. But so I was typically like if I and make a post, like I'm hoping that people are looking. I don't know that they are in terms of a target audience, but if they are, like I try to say something inspirational. But with that post, you got to be a little bit careful though, because people who have disabilities, if they have bad days or months or bad years, like that's okay too. So it's not the type of thing where I'm like, oh, just forget it and you can overpower it, because that's not the reality of it. But depression typically will set in with folks, and like you got to have a little something, like a little spark to like keep you going. So have a little dream about some, maybe a little goal to work towards at some point, even if it's like, I don't know, even if it's just like I'm gonna go to the fridge and I'm gonna make myself like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, like.
You should be in New York with me right now, telling me that while I look at the rain. I think what you just said might help me because, I mean, I think it's have to do with a strong mind to overcome stuff like that. And you seem like you have a strong mind, so you should be right here telling me, Roswell. I'll be like,
Here's your
that's what
hug.
I need to hear. That's what I need to hear.
A little hug.
Depression is. I'm happy you mentioned that. As everyone knows, my dad, he's has Alzheimer's, but he's on his last lifeline.
Mhm.
He can't eat anymore. He has a tube in his stomach, and my parents are all that I have. Not like I have my own family and whatever, but it's my parents. So not a reason I came back home. I'm in New Jersey, Wayne, New Jersey, which is 5 minutes from New York, just so I can spend some time with my dad, and also I had to bring my mom with me, who's also not well, 80 and has osteoporosis and stuff. So I find myself grouchy and complaining and be like, fighting with myself. Should I go dancing? Should I stay home with my
Yeah.
mom? Should I do?
Yeah.
I mean, I always end up, staying home because I can't go dancing knowing that my parents need me.
I know.
So and then I come with a conflict and I get sad and I get depressed and then the next day I'm like happy and stuff. So if anyone kind of like knows about that and stuff,
Mhm.
there's different types of depression as everyone knows. There's oh god, we can be here for hours. There's like
Yep.
there's psychological, there's mental, there's physical, there's spiritual, and the list goes on and on. All I'm gonna say is that whatever who's ever is listening out there, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not God. All I'm gonna say is that you guys are not alone.
Yep.
Okay, whatever you guys are dealing with, whatever depression you guys are thinking about, okay, it's a bad day, it's time to end it and go up or whatever. No,
Right.
it's not. Trust me. I mean, tomorrow is a brighter day. My mom always tells me, today it rains,
Right.
tomorrow it doesn't rain. The next day it rains, picks up again like a cycle.
Yeah.
Rains, no rain. Rain, no rain. Part of
Right.
life. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's how I live my life. Today may be raining, which it is, but tomorrow, hopefully, it doesn't rain tomorrow. Then tomorrow's a new day. I hope that little advice help all of those who are listening to this, no matter what personal stuff you're going through or
Right.
whatever, So keep that in mind. It's raining today. It's not going to rain for the rest of your life. All
Right.
right, guys? Okay. Sorry, I'm a little off with the interview there. Sorry
No,
about
that's
that.
okay. You're
Um,
good.
tell everyone about I looked at your social media, the Choco Band that's coming up.
Yeah, the
Please
Choco
tell
Band.
everyone about that. Okay?
Local band that I really like. The reason I like them is because they play all the different types of music. I'm not a giant fan of salsa bands that are only salsa and every song is 10 minutes long. That's a bit much for me. So this band plays a little bit of everything. I love reggaeton, like, love it. It makes me so happy. Bachatas first, then reggaeton. And so they play that. And so this Friday, they're going to be at a local place called the Marigold. It's a real nice area,
Uh-huh.
nice wood floor where I live. So I'm hoping folks will show up for that. It's the first time that I'm really running an event with a band. Um, so wish me luck or show up and hang out with me. I'll be teaching like a pretty basic salsa lesson right before for folks that maybe don't know how to salsa yet. So
Wonderful. What I did while you were talking, I decided to share this. It's a beautiful posting, Angelique. Um, I like the guy in the red hat. That's a nice hat. That's a nice
yeah,
hat. He's kind of serious, but he has a nice red hat. I like that. And then you got the New York. Oh, this is a good. Whoever put this together, I like the background, like the gold.
I'm glad you asked because I have a friend, Marguerite. She's great. She was my dance partner on one of the dance teams, and she helps me with this stuff. So this particular one, she made a lot of it.
I love it. I love the background. Good job. Good job. So actually pretty much you were telling me this kind of like a couple weeks ago. You really your role in the dance world, besides being a dancer, you actually provide like the platform or the place for the like the dancers and stuff to perform and do their stuff, right? I mean you
Yeah.
like is it like a they come to you kind of like sometimes and you give them advice of like where to go or stuff like how do
Yeah.
you play a major part in this, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, so I've been dancing for maybe like 7 years or so, and there's just like I live in a small area, so there's a lot of huge gaps. So first of all, I run like a couple of like Facebook chat
Mhm.
groups that have just the the events near me, and then other ones that have congresses, other ones that are New York, Boston, that type of thing. And then through that, I started to run events recently, and we nobody does performances out here. So I started to, just offer that when I run an event. Like it doesn't have to be salsa or bachata. You can do any kind of performance, especially if you're just practicing it before you like your big day. Like come on out, like give it a try. So want to provide that space for people.
Providing a base for people is very good of you. Not many people think about other people nowadays with the economy and stuff. So for you to kind of, I guess it's, I don't know, similar to what I do. I'm providing a base or a platform for you
Yeah,
guys to actually better promote yourself. So I mean, so
yeah.
I I like what I respect what you do, because
Thank
I
you.
kind of understand, because I kind of do the same, but you do more than I do. So you're
No
doing, I like that.
comparison. No,
There's a
different
response.
venues, no comparison.
Yes, yes. Something I want to talk about also, something called safe passage.
Yeah.
Okay, I looked at your media, social media platform, and there's a video here. I want to share with everyone, if it's okay with you, on the safe passage, and you can tell
Oh,
everyone
sure.
what it's about. Okay, cool. Okay, so let me just do a quick share screen so everyone can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Um, this is a creative and beautiful video here of safe passage here. Okay, let me just press play so everyone can listen to this as well. Oops, sorry.
They're not very. Are you kidding me? They're not very. Are you kidding me?
Okay, safe passage. There's one more. Okay, and here's another one. Angelique, let me ask you a quick question. What is safe passage?
Yeah. So I work a couple of different, I work a lot of places, um, a little bit at each place. And so this particular place is a domestic violence place. I actually used to get services from there, worked
Mm-hmm.
real hard on my life, and eventually, like, I work there. Um, and they, all sorts of services. We have hotline. This particular day, we were just marching in a pride parade, throwing out candy, letting people know that we're
Mm-hmm.
here for people of all genders, all gender identities.
Mm-hmm.
And I work at another
Oh, do the
place that
candies, I see.
handles the other, yeah, that handles the other side of that. I work at another place
Candies.
called
Mhm.
CWC, and it deals with sexual assault. So they're like sister companies, and
Mhm.
I work at both. So I go to the hospital with sexual assault victims.
Mhm. Okay. Um. Oh, sorry. I think I lost your. Um.
Oh, I'm
I
here.
think I
I'm
lost the
still
sound.
here.
Oh yeah, I can hear you. I'm sorry. I thought like, oh my God, please don't take both ears away. I know I'm deaf in water. I'm like, oh God, please, let me have one of that. I got nervous there for a second. I was like, maybe they're both
No, it's
gone.
okay.
You know. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah. So I just
Repeat what you just said. The last before I went.
Oh, I was just saying I also work at the sister place. It's called CWC that handles sexual assault victims. So I have training in both areas, domestic violence and assault. And I go to the hospital with victims that have to have kits done. I work on the hotline, all sorts of things like that at both of these places. So it's
Okay.
not fun. It's not great when I'm out dancing and people are like, "What do you do?" Like, "I work over here." And I'm like, I say what I say. They're like, "Oh." I'm like,
That's
"Sorry."
okay. I mean, I always say that if you're doing something from the heart,
Yeah.
um, and it's unconditional, then I'm I'm right behind you, and that's one. I'm happy you mentioned that, because one of the reasons I wanted to do this interview stuff is not only you guys can come on camera with me and tell everyone about why they should go to your events and why, blah, blah, but to also let people know what's going on in here,
Yeah.
you know, as much as here. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
um, it's yeah, it's one thing, like a magazine, like a front cover of a magazine, right? See the beautiful, all slick, all nice. That's all you know about him or her, right?
Yep.
That they're gorgeous. You don't know
Yep.
anything about the guy or the girl. You don't know what's going on at home, what they do. Do they do volunteer work? Or what nice stuff they do. You don't know. So, I always say to myself, I want to give that guy or that girl more of a chance to let the world see what
Yeah.
they should see.
That's great.
Yeah. So what you just said, it makes me think about that JQ model stuff that I saw. The guy's like, oh, happy and smiling, blah blah. Probably has more problems than I do. But the
Right.
point is that it's good that dancers they do stuff unconditionally and just stop thinking about business every now and then. Just speaking of business. Okay, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Okay, mathematical question. Okay. Okay. As everyone knows, I've been, observing stuff about like how everyone, do stuff and you guys do your events and you guys are doing a great job and stuff. But I sometimes I just feel kind of bad. And some of you guys have events. You guys spend a fortune. When you
Mm-hmm.
one, two, three, four amigos, the max, I guess, show
Right.
up.
Right.
And then on a Saturday night, and so it makes me think that I don't know, something maybe it was like just before I got into just social media. So I don't know, or maybe it's COVID and competition. I don't know. But my question to you, Angelique, let's say it's a Saturday night, right?
Yes.
It's a Saturday night, okay? There's five amigos, okay? Five amigos within 5 mile radius of any city. I don't know. It can be XYZ city, right?
Yep.
Saturday night, big, big, big organizers. So, I don't know, John, Jane, Eduardo, Marcia, you
Right.
know, Juanita, whatever, five amigos, okay? 5 miles radius. They know each other. They've been friends, loyal, and whatever. But they
Yep.
got, So they all have events on the same day, and
Oof.
I have to decide. You have to decide. Some of my friends have to decide. Should I go to this one? Should I go to this one? Should I go? If I go to this one, am I going to get yelled at? By if I gonna go this one, am I going to get?
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not a right or wrong answer whenever I ask you guys
Yep.
to answer. So I just wanted your opinion. Because just your opinion. Is there a way that things could be resolved, or not even resolved, but maybe
Hmm.
lessen? Is there a way that all five amigos can maybe one day support one another, or maybe that's
Yeah.
part of the business, and I don't know what talking about. I don't
So
know.
that, yeah.
I
So
don't know.
in my area, that was happening. And so what I did is I created like a chat group that's called Event Coordinators, and I invited people in. And because what happens is this is really about the dancers, right? Like
Hmm.
people, event coordinators tend to be really like territorial. Like these are my people. Like they take lessons from me. I'm not like that. I'm like, well, maybe I'm a good fit for you. Maybe I'm not a good fit for you. And even if I'm a good fit for you, like I'm still going to share with you like the other resources. I'm learning that not everybody's like that, but in my area, because we're a little bit smaller, I have created a group. I typically post my events months in advance, and I hope other people do too. We have run into some snags. It's definitely hurtful because you're like, well, why of all the days of the month, why would you put an event on the same day if they can't help it because it's like the venue, that's the only day they had. I just think there should be more discussion and less territorialness. So that's
Hmm.
behind the scenes, because that does happen, right? People want to go to more than one thing. And so what I do on my end to help people is that all of my events are sliding fee scale. I am a
Hmm.
single mom. I am paying for everything out of my pocket. There are many times that I don't make the money back. A lot of events don't have to pay for their space, at least where I live, because they're within a bar or something. So they're really not losing money if people don't come, so to speak. Like they may not be paying themselves, which is a loss of money. But it definitely happens. There's been events on the same day, and so I try to do the sliding fee scale so that maybe people can come to mine for a little bit, go to theirs for a little bit, like I promote other people's events even if they're on the same night. um it worries me because I don't really want to make a profit. I mean, I feel weird saying that because people are gonna be like, of course you do, but like I'm just happy if I sort of break even and I can pay myself a little bit. Because the stuff that, and we could talk about later, but the stuff that I'm bringing to where I live is like a new concept. They're not used to it, so I understand why I don't always have 1,000 people.
Okay.
But that is hard. Like two, three, four, five coordinators, and they're not talking because that's not good for the dancers at all. Don't do that to the dancers. Don't make them choose.
Yeah, I mean, what you just, I'm beginning to think, and I think a lot because I super analyze stuff that people tell me. What I'm thinking is that it just doesn't balance out, man. It doesn't. I mean, me, I don't know. I'm not an organizer. I mean, but if I was, and I know, and I know my best friend is having an event the same night right next door, I will do my best to say, bro, can we just unite for this one time, even if it's not 50-50. It can be 75-20
Yeah.
or 85-10. Well, as everyone knows, I failed math 5 times in high school.
No, you're
But
good.
you guys got the point.
Yeah,
25. Well, what's 25? You know what I'm trying to say.
I
75 to
do.
100. The point is that it's much better tallying up with my buddy and we make the profit together, even though I give him more than I do. It's much better than me doing it by myself. He's
Yeah,
doing it by himself. And we're just getting like $1 for that night. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Oh, but so I'm thinking that maybe it could be something that's relevant to pride or ambition or macho. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
there's
all
a lot of that.
I'm just saying that I see stuff and I just feel bad for, all my friends, and stuff like, so that's all I'm just saying. It's not Angelique, and I want everyone to know this, it's not a right or wrong answer here. It's not like, I want everyone to, wake up on Tuesday morning and everyone's like, do what Roswell say. Let's unite. And if it doesn't go
No.
well, we're gonna kick his. It's not about that. It's a matter of just you guys begin thinking what you guys are doing because it's a lot of money. You guys are. Some of you guys have kids and family, and the stuff that you guys are doing. Think about the next day. Think about what happens when the music stops, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Think
and
about
it's
what happens when the
supposed
music stops and the next day, and you have to see your friend again. You have to meet. I mean, that's all
it's
I'm saying.
supposed to be about the dancers. You're supposed to do an event for the dancers. And
Yeah.
like if you're not coming from a humble place, then they have a hard time communicating. Um and on a side note, like we have some people in our community that are just not they're not safe event coordinators. And so
Mhm.
they're gonna go rogue and do what they want anyways because they don't care. But you
Yeah,
know,
but I just wanted to bring that up. So I respect, your answer and everyone else's answer. Okay, so I appreciate it. Thank you, and
thank you.
congratulations, you're a mom. You
Yes,
announced it, and you're by yourself. So I respect that, and you're still struggling out there. So you know, God bless you. So
thank you.
keep it up. Okay. I just want to say, okay. Other stuff I wanted to talk about. Um, let's talk about psychology.
Sure, I love it.
I love it too. I majored in psychology when I was in college. Okay. I was looking at your one of your like social media stuff again, and I came across one of your posting. Some guy I was thinking about Frasier from back in the days. The Frasier, the television show, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
a different Frasier. It's Matt Frasier. Is it Matt Frasier's psychic show that
a
you
psychic
attended?
medium. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I want you to, if you don't mind, tell us a little about it. But I want to share one of his postings with you, if it with everyone, if it's okay. Because I
yeah,
love that posting. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I found it. I found it. I'm going to share that. Okay. Um, the guy, he walks fast. He walks super fast.
it,
So I think he's a dancer. Okay, maybe he is a dancer. I don't know. Um, this is the okay. This is a clipping of the video
oh yeah.
on mic. So let me just play it so everyone can see it and they can hear it. Okay. TV show. I'm teasing. She's here right now. Holy shit! No wonder why I get a TV show. I'm teasing. She's here right now. Holy shit! No wonder why I get a TV show. I'm teasing. She's here right now. Okay. Holy and shit! No wonder why I get a TV show. This one here. Let's see what's going on with this one here.
Yes. Because he's bringing that up when I'm connecting with him.
Oh.
And was that when the accident took place? He tells me. Because he shows me him getting into the.
Okay.
Because he's bringing.
Okay, I think I got what he's trying to say. Is he trying to he's not trying to like hypnotize people, is he?
No. So he said, so he's a medium, and like I'm interested in paranormal stuff, and I used to be on a team, like an investigative team, and now I'm creating my own paranormal team. And so, anyways, I went to go see him because my grandmother died a couple years ago, so just went to like observe. And so he was saying he could see a bunch of dead people, everybody's, and some of them stepped forward. And so I wasn't one of the lucky ones that he spoke to, but he would just say, oh, so-and-so's, brother stepped forward, like they're behind you. This is what they're saying. And like, and then, yeah, it was a fun, and I'll do a shout out for this place called Vet Tick. So if you're a veteran, you should sign up for it because you get free tickets to all sorts of things. I can't tell you the amount of great concerts and things I've seen just because I'm a veteran and I signed up for this thing. So that's why I went. I wouldn't have even known it was there. So it was a good show.
You know what I'm gonna say? All I'm gonna say about that, because I don't want to like say anything weird, because everyone is like looking up to me, especially the kids, especially the people of the afterlife. People, who's looking behind me, looking to the side? I got to be careful.
You're so funny.
Got to whisper. What I'm gonna say is that when that happens, I'm telling you now, Angelique and everyone, when I show up to one of those things in my spiritual forms, I'm gonna be behind one of the organizers, whispering to them mentally, say, no, go to the left. No, 4 step. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, stop. The music is also stop. I'm gonna make the guy go whack. So you guys be careful when I go up to the next life and I
Oh,
come back to visit you guys, okay? You know what's gonna you know what I'm gonna do, okay? It's gonna
nice.
be a fun time for me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. Engross myself. Be careful what I say, God. Okay, but
Right.
the point is that people can believe in whatever they want to believe in. Is a free will. I respect that. If it works, if you got, it's a point of belief. And Angelique, I believe in when you believe in anything, you believe in yourself. You believe in this. You believe the power of belief is so strong. It's like psychology.
Yeah.
Like the I, the mind is very powerful, and I learned that the mind is the most powerful tool on this planet. You're in the rain and start dancing, hop in a plane, go to Japan, just like, go to bed early. You can just like, just get dressed up. The mind is so powerful. It could even overcome sickness or, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. So my point, the reason I wanted to shoot that video is that not the matter of that what this guy is saying is wrong or right or you don't believe or whatever. The point is that if you honestly believe in something and you have faith in that person, that's all that matters. And it's helping you and so whoever he is,
Yeah.
I mean, I know who he is now, you're doing a good job, man. Okay? If you decide to go bachata dancing, send me a request because I want to see you on my bachata Facebook.
Right.
Okay? No, I think he can really help the other dancers. Maybe he can, bring comfort or peace or whatever. As everyone knows, I'm West Indies. My family believes in like all of those like stuff, like some supernatural stuff and some stuff is based, I'm a guy in facts, and almost like I got to see stuff and I'm like if I can't explain it, if
Yeah.
I can't touch it, it's not real. But there are stuff that exists out there and it's that stuff. It just means it is what it is. So
Right.
all I'm saying is that whatever you guys believe in, that's good. Once it's not harming anyone, it's not preventing you from working or doing something weird. That's fine. Believe
Right.
in what you want to believe in. If you think it's going to help you and help the world, you got my support. Okay. So that's all I wanted to say, Angelique. So I hope your friend is listening to what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Um. Okay. Let's talk about something called safe spaces.
Yes.
What are safe spaces?
That is my business. So it started um, maybe last November. And like I said, I live in a smaller area. So there's a couple of key points that Safe Spaces is here for. One is accessibility. I bring dancers out. Part of it is I started with having events and bringing dancers out from bigger cities. I haven't done New York yet, but I'm working on it. So mostly Boston. Um, at my event, there's always a 1 hour conversation that you can join or not join. And we talk about different issues that deal with consent. Um, one of the months we talked about disability. Last month we talked about how to navigate new scenes. The purpose of these conversations are that so people can people in my dance community can help me create a code of conduct. I have a quick little short code of conduct that's similar to ones in other spaces. But that's what we do. Because people around here, like I don't know, they
Mhm.
don't go out to Boston. They are very limited. In my area, it's really tapped out at like beginner, maybe like a advanced beginner, but we don't have a lot of
Mhm.
more advanced dancing. So I'm trying to bring that out here and also make connections. So when people go to other cities, they're like, oh, I know that person. I know that teacher. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, accessibility in that way, also accessibility in terms of payment. Um, accessibility in terms of disability, because again, I want to talk about a lot of people come dancing because they're not feeling great and they want to forget about their troubles, but they're anxious. I try to do tours of the space before so that people know what it looks like. I'm available for all sorts of questions about accommodations. Safe spaces also is in all of my lessons I do, whether it's private or a group lesson, we talk about dance etiquette. etiquette and consent right in there, so that it just doesn't happen enough. It doesn't happen anywhere. Like, and then people start learning crazy moves that maybe they're not ready to learn, or they do weird things, and I don't want anybody that comes from me to do that. And also, there's a component of safe spaces that goes around to different congresses, and I provide services where I can have one of those conversations where people can come and talk about what they want to see changed in their dance community. And it's called like being on call. So if you're at a Congress and I'm there and I'm on call, you can call me and tell me about what's going on. We can talk about it. We can, if you want, I can address the person. Like, some people call it a community ally. I just did that at the Chicago Salsa Bachata Festival for Island Touch, and I'm going to be doing it. There's a Congress. It's the first ever Congress in New Hampshire. It's called Fold. So I sort of have a big name there. It's called the Dance Etiquette Enforcer.
Wow.
Right? That sounds like
I gotta write that down. No, I am.
Everybody's got a different name for it. So at the Island Touch event, it was Community Ally. This one, it's the Enforcer. So I'm looking at getting into that more. Like, I'd like to be able to go to events and help people. Like, I have certain kinds of training that not everybody has. So it's sort of my work and my love of dance coming together. So that's sort of what Safe Spaces is.
I kind of like to help people too. I mean, there's different ways to help people. You can, oh my God, we can be here for hours talking about that. But like, one of my services is because I like to help people. That's what my thesis is on. My dissertation is on to help people. So I'm just focusing on nursing, as everyone knows, because my dad has Alzheimer's. So I'm trying to invent programs or techniques suggested on how the world can better recruit nurses or nurse aides to take care of people that cannot take care of themselves. Right.
Yes.
Helping people, Angelique, I'm happy you said that. Sometimes, sometimes when things look bad and the world looks like it's not going to get any better and it's going to rain every day, and sometimes I just get like all angry and bitter, and I'm like, oh, I just want to be nasty Roswell, right? Because and then I said to myself, what can I do not for that to happen? Because sometimes, when you cross that line, sometimes it's kind of, apologies don't help, I mean, no matter what. So I try not to, get there. So what I do, I just do stuff that I feel that just do it, something that's going to cause happiness, that's going to bring joy, something that's going to be like, not only, am I making myself feel good, but I'm making someone else feel good, and it's everyone that knows me or thinks they know me, I always, whenever there's a bad moment or bad stuff, I always say, let me turn it around by doing something good, whatever, good is, and just something where I know that I made a difference in someone's life and I'm the one that contributed, So I guess what I'm trying to say, you can turn that sadness or that anger that you have into something good, and it can be something positive that can help the world.
Right.
So helping is something we take for granted because some people, they just say, oh, I'm going to help the world, but they're really helping themselves. It could be maybe they're trying to get a money going or something, but sometimes it's good just to help, but help from the heart.
Right.
So I just want everyone to understand that when you say you're going to help something or help to think about what you're saying and what is your goal, and see if you're really true to your words, right? Okay, so I just want to bring that out there. Okay, and so helping is good, but just have know why you're doing it, just not doing it just because you want to look good and do it from the heart.
Speaking of that, the reason it started is because there were some people in my community that had like a criminal record around sexual assault, and they were running events, and just some people just didn't seem bothered by it. And for me, like, every time I go to an event, like, I'm on edge because I'm watching them go after the brand new dancers, the younger dancers. And I'm just like, why are people not bothered by this? So then I would doubt myself, like, oh, maybe it's just me. Like I'm, people would make excuses like, oh, that person went to AA, so they're better now. Like that's not how AA works. But so it's sort of like I'm trying to start a little bit of a movement, and I was unsure if people were going to come with me or if they were going to fight me back. But like, they're not fighting me back for the most part. They're joining me, and the ones that like know that they're up to no good, they don't come to my events. They don't interact with me like they used to. You know what I mean? So like, one of the things I do talk about though is like how to make a repair, because what if you're a creep now but you don't know you're a creep, or you're a creep but you don't want to be a creep? So like there's potential room for repair. So like we talk about that as well. Like, you know.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm just observing everything you're saying. So, and I'm amazed. I'm amazed by how you think and how your logic is working. You're just not doing stuff because there's nothing else to do. You're doing it because you really believe in what you're going to do, and you also believe something's going to come productively out of that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I can feel that in you when you respond. Some people, I've done interviews. I mean, I could. Some people, when they just, they're like, okay, Ross was going to ask this, and I know what Ross was going to say. But you're saying stuff that you really want to see fulfilled, not for you,
I
but
do.
also for people that you feel that it could benefit them and it can help them. So
Yeah.
I'm happy. This is another reason I wanted to do cool folks who love to interviews of bachatas, because it's all okay. Okay. Um, Thank you for saying that. Okay. I'm not done with you yet. Hold up.
No,
Not done with
yeah.
you yet. Not done with you yet. Um. Okay. Let's see. When I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
Like a couple of days ago when I was a kid.
A couple days ago. Right.
Yeah, in the afterworld, dog years when I was a kid, dog years. You know, I was like, always into like media and stuff. As everyone knows, I'm almost 50. I'm not a spring chicken and stuff. I grew up in the 70s, the 80s. I grew up with like, uh, Oprah Winfrey, like and
Me
Barbara
too.
Walters, yeah, like all of those, like those talk show hosts, and nighttime talk show hosts, role models, and Jerry Springer. I could say stuff, but I search stuff like, oh, don't hurt that guy, bro. What's wrong with you? No, but the point is that I notice how people talk. I notice the question they ask, and so I was inspired by them. You know, and I always wanted, the takeaway from those people that I noticed, they always like to do something that's weird,
Yeah.
challenging. That people have not done it before, And I always say when I get older and I create something like create cool photos of the bachata, I want to challenge myself. I want to challenge you guys. I want to, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm doing interviews and stuff. But for some odd reason, I kind of escaped the media. I went into legal, HR, then I went to school, got my
Yeah.
master's, my PhD, and everyone is like, okay, Roswell, is this the journey that you wanted? I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yes and no. There was a fork in life 500 times, but I ended up where my heart
Right.
is, what I'm doing. I guess what I'm trying to ask you with this question, Angelique, where you are at your stage in life, is that master plan you had when you were younger? You're like, when I grow up,
Mm.
I'm gonna become a dancer and all of that stuff, and I'm gonna be on with Roswell from Cool Folks Who Love the Bachata, and I'm gonna be interviewed by him 20 something years later. Was that in your plan, or was
Good
I
question.
part of your plan? I mean, back in the days. I don't know.
I will be honest. I grew up in a very tumultuous home. Um, I didn't really think about my future too much, because I was not sure if I was even going to have a future. And I was a mom pretty, not super young at 20, like I was in the Navy. So like my life was mom. In the back of my head, Yes, I always wanted to be a dancer, but it's more of like hip hop. That I love it. I didn't know partner dancing really existed. I really wanted to teach it, but I'm really, really shy. Nobody believes me, but I am like terrifyingly shy, like super duper 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 shy. Um,
Really?
yeah, and I didn't dance most of my life because I was so scared to dance. And even now, like I still like before I do a lesson, I'm like, I got imposter syndrome. I'm like, what are these people here to see me? Are you sure? Like, is there somebody else they're here to see? Or like, so in terms of grand plan, not quite with the partner dancing and stuff. My kids are a little bit older, so I have free time to do this. So I didn't have a grand plan other than to be alive. That's a little dark.
No, it's
That's
okay.
the truth. That's the truth. So I'm really grateful. I mean, even a couple months ago, I was not sure, like, will this work? It's a male dominated avenue, dance teachers and holding events. So I was, I didn't know. Are people going to come or not come? I do think I lose out to other men in the area because, people come to dance and have a good time and forget. And unfortunately, like, because these are the issues I want to deal with, like, it makes people think, right? We also have a good time. We get down and we don't think about that stuff too. But like what I'm about is not what everybody wants to think about. So
Okay. No,
there's
no,
that piece.
no,
Um,
I'm happy you said that because
yeah.
I don't feel like I'm by myself. Finish what you're saying. I'm sorry.
And I'm just going to say, like, one of the other things that Safe Spaces does is I'm really trying to take gender out of leading and following. I went back. I dated this abusive man in the dance scene. He was really horrible to me, and he didn't like bachata. So I didn't dance it. And after we separated, there were women in the dance community that bullied me. He wasn't even around. And they bullied me. And so I just want to make it clear that like safe spaces stuff is not just about men, because there are women in my dance community that they say some crazy things. They say, like they sexually harass men, and then they'll say things like, well, you shouldn't wear, shirts like that. Like, I'm like, oh, wait. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to take gender out of it because after the breakup, like I went back and I learned how to lead. And it was hard for me because that makes you the center of attention, right? As a lead, you're like, oh, I got to entertain you for 3 minutes. So it's hard to do that. And then, around here in the bigger cities, people equate sexuality with leading. So I would ask, which is hard because I'm shy, but I'm like, okay, let me try. And they would be like, no, 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 because they either think I'm a woman that can't dance or like I'm hitting on them. And I don't love that. And so in my area, people are starting to say leaders and followers instead of guys and girls. But I run special classes. They're just called switch classes, where you can have an environment where the guy comes to lead. And, again, I don't want to keep saying man and woman because all genders, whatever you identify as, but that's something that's been going well that we also do. I just would like to abolish that whole gender roles thing.
Um, it makes my life easier when a woman leads and I follow. You know,
There you
you,
go.
you know how many times I asked, like, my life would have been so much easier, man. All these women that are listening to me. When I asked you girls to lead,
Yeah.
why did you not say, Roswell, you lead? I mean, it's not just because I'm a man. It's not. I'm not supposed to be lead. Some of you women gotta help me out sometimes. Like.
Right. Well, I'll help you out.
I want you guys to lead, and I want to follow. I want to feel
Yes.
special.
And
You know, I wanna-
it makes you a more well-rounded dancer if you know both parts. Like, right? Because then you won't lead the move like a big, like a big jerk. Like you'll be less likely to do things because you'll know, oh, well, that feels very rough, or like that's not how you do that. So when we see each other, I'll lead.
Yeah, I want you to because I'm just so tired, man. I mean, I want to, let you guys lead. I want to, make life, I don't know.
Leading
That's
is
what
a
I'm trying.
lot of pressure. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I know some, like hear that over and over. It's a man's world and stuff, but no, I mean, come on, it could be a woman's world too. I mean,
Yep.
it just, so all these women that I'm gonna dance with this weekend or whatever, you
Yeah.
guys know what you got to do now. So
Right.
I'm gonna come up to you guys. I'll be like, okay, so what you got? What you got for
What you
me?
got for me? That's
What you got
right.
for me, Mama? No, I'm just
And
kidding.
in
What
my
you got for me,
area,
Mama?
I live in a very liberal area. And so there are a lot of folks that are transgender or they're non-binary, and so like, and they get left out of dancing, and that just, you know, that destroys me. I don't like that. People are just people. So
Yeah, I mean, dancing is dancing, and
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a guy, girl, whatever, it's all the same thing. And I just want to mention something about real quickly about the relationship stuff
Yeah.
you mentioned. I was how I got into bachata, Angelique. I never really listened to Spanish
Mhm.
music or whatever. And so when back in the days, there was no like integration. I didn't really hang out with people that were Latin or Dominican or whatever. So I'd never even dreamed I would listen to a Latin song or whatever. And I was dating someone, and it was horrible, horrible. One of the worst relationships in my life because I forced it. I wanted love. I'm like, oh, I'm getting over the hill, and my friends are going to
Mm.
talk. My family are going to be like, when you're going to marry, get kids, and all of that stuff. So I forced myself into a relationship, and it was bad. It was really bad. And after it happened, well, the person did speak Spanish, but what happened is that everyone was telling me, don't do it because you have to. Do it because you want to.
Right.
And I was like, God, I'm getting over the hill. Who's going to take care of me when I'm, you know
Oh,
what I'm saying? And then I learned then and there, things were bad. I just, I lost control of myself. I did, I just stopped. I didn't really work, put interest in my
right.
job, my family. I just stayed at home. It was a very bad relationship, very, very bad. And I learned that, it doesn't have to be that way. And, there are good, Dominicans are good people, just because I was in a relationship with one, it doesn't mean they're all bad.
Exactly.
So listening to a lot of Dominican music after that, it changed me, or it helped
Okay.
me appreciate the culture and the love and, the meaning of what they
Yeah.
do and how they do it and stuff. So I guess what I'm trying to say, a bad thing could change into a good thing,
Yes.
and that's evidence. Like for you, I don't know the specific details, but obviously you're here now talking with me, and I think it could be maybe because of what you learned or the takeaway you learned from that relationship you were in, just like me.
Well, so
I just so
yeah, so I sort of changed my mind the past couple of years where I no longer say I'm grateful for all the trouble I went through,
Mhm.
because I would have much rather be the version of myself that is not hurt and scared.
Right.
Um, but I will say that all those women that gave me a hard time and bullied me on the behalf of that man, they
Mhm.
now all are like, "Oh, Angelique, Angelique," because I teach, right? So I'm like,
Right.
I actually had this woman call DCF on me to try to get my kids removed because I go dancing. Like, and now she's all like, all the time, she's like, "Oh, Angelique." And
She did that. That is plain mean.
it is. She's, there's all sorts of different women and people in the world. And she's just somebody that really likes drama. She's the same person that says that men, I'm going to touch you if you dress a certain way. So there's a theme here. Yeah. So
Give me her name. If she send me a request to join my Bachata Facebook,
I will give you her name.
I'm looking out for her name. I'm gonna write it down. Like what?
I
A
will.
request from who? No, sorry, sorry. No, anyone who was bad to Angelique, we ain't getting it.
Aw,
I'm just
that's so
no,
nice.
but but I'm happy you shared your journey and everything, and you're a strong woman and stuff, and hopefully your what you just said could help other women who are going through tough times,
Yeah.
let them know that you were there. One of the reasons
Yeah.
I do these interviews, and Angelique, is not only, again, is not only so you guys can come on and say, you got to come to my event because it's the best thing in the world. If you guys don't come, the world is going to end. No,
Right.
it's also, yeah, do that. But it's also that learn from what you guys are saying. I want everyone to listen carefully to what I'm saying. These interviews are really, not only for media and publicity, but also to maybe help you guys. Maybe one of you guys are, something really
Mhm.
bad like me or what
Yeah.
Angelique was, maybe, and you guys feel that there's no way out, and there is. I mean, so please learn from these interviews. Learn, Angelique. I mean, send her a text message or whatever. You need
Yeah.
someone to talk to, whatever. You need someone to relate to. You guys are not alone, especially the young ones. The young ones, young ones always feel that there's no one
Right.
to talk to, and that's it. I'm gonna like, oh, no, it doesn't have to be
Right.
that way. Trust me, it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, just want everyone to know. Speaking of the young ones, the
Oh.
question of the day,
Okay. Yeah.
and you have kids. Okay, if your kids come up to you and say, "Mama, I want to become the next greatest dancer," and maybe I want to, follow Roswell and open up Cool Folks
Yep.
Electric Bachata Part 2. No, no. The point to you is that what are you gonna tell? Like, what advice do you have in children in general, like just the world, like who definitely want to, become dancers and famous, and what advice can you give these little ones that are looking at us talk now? That if they are serious about this, what tips can you give
That's a
them?
good question. I mean, first and foremost, as I shared before, I've been shy my entire life, so that's tough. I didn't dance when I wanted to. I sat out my entire life. So try not to do that, right? Like try to find an avenue, even if it's dancing at home. Um, I'm gonna say dancing, if you're serious about it, it's hard work, right? Like like we don't I had to drive to Boston over and over and over. And like I have my Boston dance family, but I used to go out there and I would see the like more advanced dancers and be like, I wouldn't talk to them because I was like, I don't want to bother them. And sometimes I wouldn't dance or talk to anybody. So now I just drove 2 hours that way for nothing and 2 hours this way for nothing. Now they all know me. I love them. They're great. They've inspired me to be on dance teams, which is really difficult for me being the center of attention. So there's that piece. Like it is gonna be hard work. With that being said, you need to find the right teachers. I don't jive. I've had teachers that yell and are critical. That doesn't work for me.
Hmm.
I need somebody else that is kind. So like shop around for your dance teacher. Um, right? And obviously kids can't drive themselves. Um, but it does take dedication. People say to me all the time, "Oh my God," female identified folks say to me, "Oh, I want to lead like you." And like, yep, it took a lot of years, a lot of money, and a lot of dedication for me to get where I am. And um, like I said, I have a lot of disabilities. I have a lot of physical disabilities. I have a handicap placard, believe it or not. That's another hour show. Um, um, but there are
Two
times
hours,
that
two
like
hours
I
show.
can barely walk and people don't know this. And so this is when I say like I don't want to say like your disability doesn't count, so like you can totally go dance, but like give it a try. Find your people. I'm still working on finding my people. Like I have
Hmm.
people that live farther away, so I don't get to see them. They're in my tribe, but like I'm still looking for my people. And that's what you need to grow as a dancer. Your people, your dedication, you know, your mindset. I know you said earlier that like sometimes you're like, oh, I don't want to go dancing. That happens to me all the time. Constantly, especially in my
Hmm.
area. Like I love my dance family here. But like I said, we don't have advanced lessons. We also don't have a lot of styles of dance. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go out. And what's going to happen is I'm going to be put in a position of a teacher the entire evening. Everybody there is going to be like, can you teach me some things while we dance? Can you teach me some things? Can you teach me? So then it's almost like I'm working. So anyway, so like if I'm in a lot of pain, I'm like, I don't know that I can handle that tonight. And a lot of times I go anyways. And there's something about bachata that just makes me so happy that my pain doesn't go away, but it subsides a little bit, enough for me to do some dances. And then you go back home and I'm like, oh, ooh, I am sore. But yeah, so go ahead.
But that's my point. Bingo. That's my point. What exactly what I said an hour ago. You remember when I was talking about the
Yes.
mind is powerful? There you go. You just said it. That's a perfect example. Now I'm thinking about it. The mind is, what did they say in school? Uh, the mind is mind over body. That's it. Yeah, I remember this course I took at college. Mind over body, and I didn't really think about it, but I thought about it in the dance world, and now listening to you, I'm thinking about 20 something years ago what my instructor told me. My first psychology course, the mind is very powerful. You are a witness. You are a witness, Angelique, to what he said. You know, the pain is there,
Is there.
right? It's there. It's real.
Yes.
It's facts. It's there, but your mind is there, and your mind is power. You just said, and your the mind that you listen to the bachata music or whatever is in there. The mind is saying, "This is number one, what you like," and it's going to overcome every other
I want to do
obstacle you
my
have.
dissertation on
Okay.
why music does that. Like why music is like
Oh,
medicine. Like
okay.
medicate. I don't metabolize medication, so like I don't get to take medication for things. But how come music works? Like that's craziness. I want to delve into that and write a paper on that.
You want to do my paper? I'm so like my professor's still on my back. He's like, Russell, when are you going to give me part three of the dissertation? I'm like, I got interviews to do, Professor
Right.
Chair. So tough
Yeah.
luck. No, I'm just saying. You helped me with my paper. I'm like 10 years behind. But no, but the mind is very powerful, and I want to say something. I know we're a little off time here. We're a little off the interview, but I just wanted to know, as everyone knows, I don't
Me
drink, don't
neither.
smoke, don't do drugs, don't eat meat, don't, all that stuff. No coffee, none of that stuff. I just, if I get a headache, I'm like, leave me alone. I don't take aspirin or stuff unless I'm dying. Like, leave me alone. I'm in a headache. I'm in a headache period. I'll come back to you when I'm okay. Or let's say I'm really, really tired, and 2 o'clock. I'm gonna go
Right.
home. I'm not gonna force
Yes.
myself to 5 o'clock to dance. Or if I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat. I guess what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying I'm perfect. God knows I'm not perfect. But all I'm saying is that I'm using this to help me with all the other dramas that are going on physically in my body and around me. The mind, and I say this for the 500th time, everyone that's listening to me, the mind is so powerful, you have no idea. I remember somebody told me in school once, I don't know, was it sociology course? I don't know, or it's chemistry. Angelique, remember there was a story about a
Mm-hmm.
mom. I don't know if this is, she was weakling,
Yep.
weak, tiny, skinny. And I think a truck or something fell on her kid, the
Oh,
baby. He was riding his bicycle
yeah.
under the truck. No, no, my baby's gonna die. No, there was no one there. A little tiny woman
Push the truck.
lifted the truck up and grabbed her baby and then dropped the truck. Everyone's like, "Is
Ow.
this She-Hulk?" The point of this story is
Yeah.
that, right, the mind is powerful over. You have no idea what you're capable of doing until it happens. So I just want everyone to know. I'm not saying people don't get angry, people can't hurt
Yeah.
themselves, people can't kill and whatever. It's part of human nature. But what I'm saying, before you guys get to that point, just think about you have no idea how your mind can save you. Okay, that's all
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, guys. Okay, so okay. Anyway, Angelique, you know,
Yes.
I have to come to Massachusetts and hang out with you and stuff.
Sure.
You seem so cool. My mom would love you because my mom has osteoporosis and she bitches every day. Excuse my language, Facebook, for saying that. Well, she does. She bitches every day. Oh, I'm tired. My back. My mom, every day I listen to the BS. I'm going to have you hook up with Angelique. She can tell you about, the bachata stuff you listen to that's going to make you.
Yeah.
So Gotta hook you up with my mama.
I'm
So,
the chair for the Commission on Disability for the town I live in. So like I also, you know, I just try to deal with everybody's disabilities and like talk about accessibility and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's
but the
important
mind,
stuff. I'm about to do a panel on PTSD because nobody wants to talk about PTSD. So I'm gonna have some speakers come in and like I have major PTSD. That's actually what brought me to Latin dance because I didn't want to be around men unless it was in a controlled environment. So I thought dance lessons, they would behave themselves. I was wrong. I got judged right away. Why don't you have high heels on? Why don't you be more sexy? Why don't you like I'm just oh dear. So, you know, but that's what brought me to Latin dance. I just had misconceptions about it. So like boundaries are difficult for people and we're all still learning how to intermingle, right?
right? But what you said makes point. It makes a good sense because I think from past stuff that the we all have a history. We all have a story. We all have a story, Angelique, right?
Yes.
And that story, makes us who we are. Like, oh my God, you and I can be talking for hours here about it. I could tell you I mean, again, I'm not everyone thinks I look perfect, because I got the jerry curls and the Hawaiian look and what. But trust me, I have a lot of stories that I can tell people, and people will be like, "You're making it up," but I'm not. There's stories that made me who I am today, you know. And if I didn't have, oh God, I'm not only the guy above, but if I didn't have strong support, strong family, friends, and whatever, who knows? There would be somebody else doing this interview with you,
Right,
Angelique. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So what I'm saying, the story, your story and my story, I mean, we are where we are now because of those stories,
Yes.
right? We are
Yep.
who, and I think that's, when we think about it for a second and we reflect, we're like, we don't want to go back there, or we don't want anyone else to like experience what we've experienced,
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's good to share that and stuff. So, Angelique, I guess what I'm trying to say, you're a sweetheart,
Thank you.
for sharing your stuff, and I appreciate it. 'Cause, it takes a strong person to share everything that you've shared, and I hope
Thank you.
everyone that listened tonight can take away a lot of stuff. Not one thing, but just take away a lot of stuff from this interview.
Thank
Okay?
you.
I just hope, especially the women, okay? Those women that are in bad situations or whatever, or the young kids, or I just hope, you know,
Right.
okay? Anyway, what are some last stuff you want to, oh, wait a minute. Is there any big events coming up also that you want to let people know? Any other events you want to share? I know. Anything else you want to talk about, or any
In
big
terms of
events or something?
events, I'm just planning a bunch more because I do a monthly one. I just had to find a new location because it's sort of expensive where I was. So I don't have anything particular on that. I mean, we have something called the Big E. Like it's an exposition. It's like a big giant fair. So I'll be
Mm.
teaching some bachata there. Um, I'm just trying to do a little sprinkle everywhere, meet new people. Final thoughts. I don't know. I just want to meet more people and honestly, it was the New Jersey Bachata festival where it was the first time where I stayed up till 8 a.m. You know how they do at the congresses? And I was like, oh, I love this dance. Like, this is amazing. It was like a transformational evening. Like, I liked it and then I loved it. And
Mm.
I just sort of wanted to say, because I know people get territorial about, well, I'm traditional, I'm sensual, and like, there were things that I used to be uncomfortable with because I felt like they were only for a husband or like a significant other. And
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine me ever doing like a body roll on a stranger. Like I am able to detach it now, but it's only
Mm.
with people that I feel safe with. And so I guess I would just say like dance is a language. And so like you're trying to communicate. So like don't don't need to go do all the things that you think are cool because I know we were talking about image and like what's underneath. Like
Mm.
bring a piece of you to the dance. You don't need to be showing off because you the dance will probably go left. It won't go right. So just be authentic. Um, take your time. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot, but like that's what I'll say.
The reason I'm smiling, you ever seen my videos? Have you when I dance? Have you? I'm
No,
laughing because, oh god, if you see my video, you're gonna be like, Roger is an example of being authentic and doing his own stuff. I do my
doing his
own
own
crap.
stuff. Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know how women have the patience to dance with me over and over and over. Especially my friends in New York. All these women, New York women, they're like, they want a man who knows how to dance. They don't want
Oh, this.
Roswell. And then I dance with them, and the women in you guys, I love them a lot. They have a lot of patience with me because I do my own BS. When I dance with them, and they
Okay.
love it. They laugh.
Well,
I think they laugh too much,
no,
but they
that's
love
the
it.
thing. That's the thing is when I'm in a lesson, I laugh and laugh and laugh. I laugh at myself when I mess up. I laugh at my people are kids. Like you were talking about kids. It's not that serious. I mean, it is serious because you're dedicated, but like I can't tell you how many classes where I'm laughing up a storm. I'm like, I just did that so wrong. I was
Wow.
way off. And people are like, just their straight faces. I'm like, am I in the right bunch?
Right,
Don't
right.
it's supposed to be fun. Like
Right. So I'm happy that you said it's good, be your own thing, do your own stuff. So I really, really appreciate that. And yeah, because like there are times I do my little thing, and it's like, it doesn't work out. Like I'm trying to be like that image or that sexy
yeah,
Dominican
yeah.
over there, and before you know it, my knee is stuck between a girl's knee, and I'm like, this ain't working out. So I'm just gonna do
This
my
ain't-
own stuff, my own Roswell stuff. I learned that the hard way. So nowadays, when you see me, look at my videos. When you see me,
Okay.
you'd be like, Roswell is doing it. Roswell is inventing the new bachata. He's doing his own stuff, and
The new one. Okay.
but I'm happy you said that. Um, I know you have to go. You have a lot of stuff to do, and I just want to say it was a pleasure talking to you. And when you come to New York, I'm here at least until the summer. You know,
Okay.
with family and stuff. Then I plan to go back down south after summer. So if you come up to New York City, please let me know,
Sure.
and we can try to do something. And I'm expecting you to lead. Okay.
Of
No,
course.
I'm telling
I
you right now, I'm not, I ain't leading. I'm just, I need a break from leading, man. You
I
guys,
love when a guy asks me to lead because I like a guy that's vulnerable. Like that you're putting yourself in a vulnerable place. I love it. That says a lot about a person.
yes, I'm vulnerable right now because the rain didn't stop. But anyway, oh, the rain. Okay, no, okay. Have a good night. It was nice
Thank
talking to
you.
you, and feel free to continue sharing your postings. The webpage of your company, share it. Continue sharing your stuff. It was a pleasure meeting you, and if you ever want to interview in the future again, we can. And this time you're gonna interview me, okay? You be
Ah,
like,
okay.
Roswell, let's see what's going on in your head, man.
Okay.
Okay, let's take a drink first before we go there. So, no,
But you don't drink and I don't drink.
but you never know. After man, after you begin to interview me, you're gonna get that urge. Trust me.
Okay.
I just trust me. You're gonna be like, what? It's a tequila. I'm just. Anyway, good night. Okay.
Good
Nice
night.
talking to you. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye bye.